As Canadians, we often approach global defense debates with a healthy dose of pragmatism, recognizing that our vast geography, unique climate, and pressing need for Arctic sovereignty demand solutions tailored specifically to our reality, not merely the global status quo. For decades, the conversation surrounding the next generation of fighter jets for the Royal Canadian Air Force has been dominated by the giants, the high-cost platforms requiring massive logistical footprints. Yet, a quiet, almost surgical intervention by Rolls-Royce, the British engineering powerhouse, has fundamentally reshaped the strategic calculus inside NATO, offering Canada an advantage that is both economically sound and supremely capable in the rigorous environment of the North. This is not just an upgrade story, it is a declaration of European engineering independence that empowers Canada's self-determination in the Arctic. The initial news, which caused a quiet shock among NATO planners, did not originate from the usual geopolitical hotspots of Russian aggression or Chinese expansion, but from a calculated, deeply technical move within the existing framework of the Saab Gripen E program. Historically, the Gripen has been viewed as the capable underdog, a testament to Swedish ingenuity, designed for dispersed operations, low maintenance, and high sortie rates, a true fighter built for war, not just air shows, as the original analysis noted, but it was consistently criticized for lacking the raw power of competitors like the F-35, a jet costing over $100 million per unit, or the sprawling logistics of the Eurofighter. That perception, rooted firmly in outdated metrics, was systematically dismantled the moment Rolls-Royce, a co-producer of the F414 engine, the mechanical heart of the Gripen E, activated a little-known partnership with GE Aviation and Saab in the late stages of the Gripen E's development. Rolls-Royce engineers were tasked not with simple assembly, but with an ambitious, quiet mandate to optimize and re-engineer several critical subsystems of the F414 to meet Sweden's stringent, often extreme performance requirements. What began as a mere support contract quickly evolved into one of the stealthiest yet most profoundly impactful modernization efforts in modern aviation history, its true results only becoming clear in classified reports that started circulating among allied nations. For Canada, a nation whose security future hinges on effective Arctic operations requiring interceptor missions across immense distances and demanding reliability from remote Arctic bases, these enhancements are far more than marginal improvements. They are tailor-made strategic assets. Military sources have since distilled the Rolls-Royce contribution into 4 major upgrades, each subtle on its own, yet collectively game-changing, especially when viewed through the lens of NORAD modernization and our commitment to the North. The first, and perhaps most strategically elegant, was thermal signature reduction. Rolls-Royce expertly reworked the engine's exhaust flow and cooling channels. The objective was twofold: to significantly reduce the infrared IR signature and stabilize the heat output, effectively masking the Gripen E from sophisticated detection systems. And thrust, this smart stealth, as NATO analysts privately dubbed it, dramatically increases the Gripen E's survivability by making it far harder to detect by advanced Russian systems such as the S-400, Panzer S-1, and the Su-35's IRST infrared search and track. For an aircraft operating in the vast, often unsupported reaches of the Arctic, minimizing detection risk is paramount, allowing our pilots to operate with a decisive tactical advantage. This technological leap ensures that the Gripen E maintains a critical edge in the electronic and thermal warfare spectrum against modern peer adversaries, a non-negotiable requirement for the RCAF's future. Secondly, the focus shifted to power curve optimization. This was a philosophical change from simply chasing maximum thrust, a metric often prioritized for flashier airshow displays. Instead, Rolls-Royce focused on improving low-altitude acceleration, essential for rapid deployment and short runway takeoffs, while simultaneously boosting high-altitude fuel efficiency, a necessity for long-duration Canadian patrols. Crucially, they refined the mid-air maneuver power delivery. Pilots who flew the upgraded aircraft described the change as transformative, akin to moving from a manual transmission to a responsive, high-precision dual-clutch system. This rewired responsiveness is vital during high G turns and missile evasion, giving the pilot instantaneous, precise power control, a critical factor in dogfights and dynamic combat scenarios, particularly those that demand quick shifts in throttle response against aggressive threat maneuvers. The third, and arguably most integrated upgrade, involved the electronic control algorithms. Rolls-Royce quietly updated the FADEC system, the digital brain of the engine. This deep-level integration was far from a routine software patch. It enhanced sensor fusion, timing, throttle responsiveness, radar synchronization, and, most importantly for the Gripen E, EW electronic warfare power allocation. This sophisticated update finally allowed the Gripen E's highly advanced Orexis EW suite to operate at its absolute full power capacity without suffering the engine performance degradation that was previously considered an unavoidable trade-off. In the $3, $42 mark of the original analysis, it was highlighted that this level of seamless, full-power EW operation was never possible before. For Canada, facing potential threats requiring sophisticated electronic countermeasures and suppression, the ability of the Gripen E to maintain engine integrity while deploying maximum electronic jamming power is a game-changer that rivals the EW dominance capabilities of much more expensive fifth-generation aircraft. This capability is the definition of fighting smarter, enabling the aircraft to dominate the electromagnetic spectrum. Finally, the focus on operational endurance delivered the extreme reliability upgrade. The Gripen E, designed to operate from icy Swedish roads and dispersed military bases, already had a robust lineage. Rolls-Royce enhanced this by increasing the engine's tolerance for foreign object ingestion, essential for operating from austere, often unpaved airfields common in northern Canada, rapid temperature shifts, a daily reality in the Canadian climate, and streamlining field-level maintenance and one-crew serviceability. This commitment to robust, real-world reliability achieved a stunning result, cutting the aircraft's downtime by up to $40 per cent dollar compared to older models. This is perhaps the most compelling metric for the Canadian military planner. Downtime translates directly into reduced operational readiness and increased long-term maintenance costs. An aircraft that can be serviced faster, by fewer personnel, in challenging environments, and withstand the punishment of the Canadian North is an operational and fiscal triumph. This upgrade addresses head-on the logistical nightmares that traditionally plague complex, high-performance military assets operating far from major repair facilities. The collective impact of these 4 upgrades was so significant that NATO fighter wings accustomed to rigid procurement orthodoxy were stunned. The Gripen was explicitly not supposed to compete with the F-35 inches these high-end mission profiles. Yet, the Rolls-Royce optimization quietly unlocked capabilities that placed it on a trajectory to outperform the accepted Western standard in several crucial mission areas relevant to Canada. Its electronic warfare dominance now rivals the F-35. It achieves super cruise-like performance under specific profiles. It provides enhanced S-400 evasion capabilities, and it boasts cheaper flight hour costs than any other Western fighter. This is where the geopolitical shockwave became highly relevant to Ottawa. European air forces have long been tethered to American engines, American avionics, and American weapons policies. Rolls-Royce, a British co-developer, helped Saab prove that Europe could, in fact, build and modernize a high-end, strategically critical fighter jet without being dependent on US export controls or policy constraints. This suddenly offered allied nations, including Canada, a truly sovereign procurement path. The notion that Sweden could bypass US oversight using a British partner for such deep, system-level upgrades prompted urgent questions from Pentagon officials regarding the loss of standardization control within the alliance. But for Canada, these developments signal opportunity and independence. The Gripen now represents a platform free from political strings attached, offering modular, evolutionary upgrades controlled by the user, not the provider. This ability to maintain control over our defense ecosystem, especially in the strategically sensitive Arctic, is an invaluable asset. When Canadian defense analysts assessed the stunning evaluation that the Gripen E, with the Rolls-Royce optimizations, outperformed expectations in Arctic scenarios, the shockwave turned into a compelling argument for our national security interests, validating the necessity of a classified briefing on the specifics of the Rolls-Royce upgrades that Ottawa reportedly requested. We need a fighter designed for our Arctic, not simply adapted to it. The Rolls-Royce Revolution provided exactly that. The quiet mechanical genius demonstrated by Rolls-Royce on the Gripen E engine, from thermal signature reduction to the extreme reliability upgrades, was never merely a technical feat. It was, and remains, a profound geopolitical statement. For Canada, a nation currently grappling with the modernization requirements of NORAD and the strategic imperative of deterring great power competition in the North, this statement translates into a tangible, sovereign advantage. This is the moment we must look beyond the established political and commercial momentum of other platforms and critically assess what truly serves Canada's unique and demanding security needs. The core issue raised by this unexpected development is not whether the Gripen is good enough, but whether it is in fact better suited to the Canadian context than any alternative, particularly when considering the longevity, cost-effectiveness, and operational autonomy enabled by this European engineering collaboration. The initial shock within NATO, articulated most clearly in Washington, was political. Defense lobbies there reportedly pushed back hard, sensing a tangible threat. If Canada chooses Gripen, other nations will follow. This reaction reveals the stakes. The US fears losing decades of dominance in NATO fighter sales, a dominance built partly on technological supremacy, but also significantly on the leverage provided by export controls and logistical dependence. Rolls-Royce, by enabling a non-American jet to challenge this dominance and allowing a European nation to compete aggressively in high-end electronic warfare, did more than upgrade an engine. They rewired the entire fighter ecosystem. They established a new category: elite performance without elite cost. This is the ultimate value proposition for prudent Canadian taxpayers and military planners, maximizing capability while minimizing life cycle burden. The high cost of competing platforms, often exceeding $100 million per jet, carries with it an equally massive long-term logistical and political cost, a cost that the Gripen E, powered by the newfound efficiency of the Rolls-Royce optimization, substantially undercuts. The relevance of this independence to Canada cannot be overstated. When we commit to a major defense procurement, we are committing for decades. Choosing a platform that is highly reliant on external political approvals for hardware upgrades, software patches, or armament integration can compromise our operational tempo precisely when we need it most. The Gripen E, with its modular upgrade philosophy and now enhanced European technical backbone, represents freedom from those external political strings. This freedom is critical for maintaining Canadian sovereignty in areas like data management and operational flexibility, allowing the RCAF to integrate Canadian-specific systems and armaments without third-party delay or veto. For a nation that values self-reliance and has consistently championed multilateralism, having a platform that embodies efficiency and survivability alongside zero political strings attached is a powerful alignment of defense, policy, and capability. This is the strategically liberated fighter jet in the Western world, and its availability allows Canada to lead in a new era of defense procurement. Furthermore, the specific performance gains Rolls-Royce delivered speak directly to the environmental and operational challenges that define the Canadian mission profile. The leaked Canadian defense analysis, which noted the Gripen E's exceptional performance in Arctic scenarios, is the foundational evidence we need. Canada operates in freezing temperatures, requires long-distance patrols over often featureless terrain, and must deploy interceptor missions rapidly from remote, minimally equipped air bases. The F-35, a platform primarily designed for stealth penetration and close integration with US air power, has historically struggled in several of these areas, particularly in adapting to severe operational climate constraints and the logistical demands of dispersed Arctic basing. The Gripen, however, excelled. Its robustness against foreign object ingestion and its rapid temperature shift tolerance, both enhanced by Rolls-Royce, make it the superior choice for operating from shorter, potentially less than pristine runways, which are the norm across our northern operating areas. The ability to cut downtime by up to $40% through one crew serviceability and simplified field maintenance translates directly into a higher operational readiness rate in the challenging environment where every hour counts. We must remember the context. The world is entering a new era where massive defense spending alone does not guarantee superiority. What guarantees superiority is a platform tailored to the unique environment of operation, and the Gripen E has demonstrated exactly that tailored fit for the Canadian High Arctic. This confluence of factors, operational excellence in extreme cold, cost-effectiveness, and sovereign control over future upgrades, is why nations like the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Finland are either operating the Gripen or seriously reconsidering their procurement decisions. The Rolls-Royce intervention has not just tilted the balance, it has made the case for the Gripen E undeniable for nations prioritizing efficiency and independence. For Canada, our commitment to modernizing NORAD demands a system that can effectively project air power across our massive territory, secure our borders against both conventional and emergent threats, and do so in a financially responsible manner. The stealthy, efficient electronic warfare beast built by Sweden and powered by Britain is rewriting the rules, demonstrating that a fighter can be both elite and affordable, strategically flexible, and operationally rugged. The final question for Canada is one of vision. Do we continue to follow the long-established path, relying on systems that may not be optimally suited for our geography and which impose significant political and fiscal constraints? Or do we seize this moment, this technological shift facilitated by Rolls-Royce, to embrace the most strategically liberated fighter jet in the Western world, the one proven to excel in the very environment that defines our national security? Choosing the Gripen E, with its proven Arctic resilience and sovereign upgrade path, is a vote of confidence in Canadian pragmatism and a clear affirmation that we will prioritize our unique operational requirements over political inertia. This is not about defection from a program, but a necessary correction toward optimal national defense. The Rolls-Royce Gripen E is more than a fighter jet. It is the embodiment of Canadian strategic independence in the $21 text ST dollar century, ready to secure the vastness beneath the aurora. The success of the FADEX system update, which allows the Gripen E's advanced Arexis EW suite to operate at full power without engine degradation, a feat previously deemed impossible, is a testament to the comprehensive nature of this strategic re-engineering. This breakthrough ensures that our pilots will always have the necessary power for sophisticated countermeasures simultaneously with optimal flight performance, securing a critical tactical edge against peer competitors. The shift in power dynamics within NATO is undeniable. The Gripen E now offers allied nations a robust, high-performance alternative, effectively creating competition where stagnation and monopoly once reigned. This competition is healthy and ultimately benefits all allies, compelling manufacturers to focus on genuine performance and cost efficiency rather than relying solely on legacy alliances. But for Canada, the choice must remain intensely self-focused. Our defense budget, while significant, requires every dollar to be leveraged for maximum operational benefit across our challenging, sparsely populated landmass. The combination of low flight hour costs and the extreme reliability upgrade, which cuts downtime significantly, means the Gripen E offers the highest ratio of operational availability per dollar spent in the critical Arctic theater. The F-35's well-documented struggles with logistics and the maintenance-heavy demands of fifth-generation technology pose significant hurdles for sustained operations from our remote northern airfields. The Gripen E's design, optimized for short, unimproved runways, and rapid turnaround, is simply a superior physical and logistical fit for Canada's Northern Defence Initiative. Furthermore, the initial source material highlighted that the Rolls-Royce team was tasked with something far more ambitious than simple assembly. They were asked to optimize, modernize, and re-engineer several subsystems to match Sweden's extreme performance requirements. These requirements, demanding dispersal, minimal logistical tail, and operation in harsh climates, mirror Canada's needs precisely. This shared design DNA ensures that the platform is inherently aligned with our strategic challenges. The meticulous work on the power curve optimization, which focused on mid-air maneuver power delivery and low-altitude acceleration over simple raw thrust, provides the pilot with a highly agile, responsive platform critical for both interceptor roles and close air support, should the need arise. The tactical advantage of moving from a manual transmission to a high-precision dual-clutch system, as described by test pilots, translates into fractions of a second gained in a dogfight, the difference between mission success and failure. These are the tangible, life-saving technical details that underpin our argument for the Gripen E as the right choice. The shock to NATO was the realization that a cheaper, smaller force could effectively challenge dominance. For Canada, the takeaway is the profound realization that a cheaper, fitter force is the only logical choice for our unique and challenging mission set. The Rolls-Royce intervention has delivered the capability. Now it is time for Ottawa to deliver the strategic wisdom by making the clear choice for Canadian sovereignty and Arctic resilience. We want to hear from you, our fellow Canadians. Do you believe Canada should prioritize an aircraft specifically optimized for the Arctic's extreme conditions and logistical independence? Or should we stick to standardized platforms like the F-35, despite the cost and operational challenges they present in the North? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss what truly matters for the future of the RCAF. Thank you for joining this deep dive into what the Rolls-Royce enhanced Gripen E truly means for Canadian sovereignty. As we analyze the strategic shifts within NATO, it's clear that our nation stands at a pivotal moment, poised to choose operational independence and Arctic dominance. If this analysis resonated with your pride in Canadian self-reliance and the vital importance of modernizing NORAD, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps us continue delivering the kind of rigorous, Canada-centric defense analysis that looks past the headlines and focuses on our unique national interests. Furthermore, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming deep dive reports on defense spending and Arctic infrastructure. We believe informed discussion is key to strong policy, and your voice matters. Now, we want to turn the floor over to you, our engaged Canadian audience. We are truly curious about your perspective on this strategic choice. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Given the operational demands of our remote Arctic bases, do you agree that the Gripen's $40 per cent dollar reduction in downtime and reliance on one crew serviceability outweighs the benefits of a larger, established platform? Should Canada prioritize owning the intellectual and logistical control over its fighter fleet? Upgrades free from political strings over alliance standardization? Looking ahead, how critical is the Gripen's proven superiority in electronic warfare and thermal stealth against current and emerging threats in the North American aerospace defense region? May your future be marked by continued prosperity, security, and the unwavering resolve that defines us as Canadians.